Hot topics, knowledge being spread. It's like warm butter across the bread. Smooth, I know you like that. Flow with the grain and don't fight that. You want righteous love, you found the right match. With Mardy McFly, they on the right track. Yeah, gotta dig some dirt to plant the seed. Spread roots till you sprout like a tree. Doni Jones, she the one you wanna see. Doni Jones live, this is where you wanna be. It's Doni Jones live, Doni Jones live. It's Doni Jones live, Doni Jones live. It's Doni Jones live, Doni Jones live.
Welcome to Doni Jones Live. I am Donnie the Tree Lady, hanging out with that guy.
That guy that's always fly. That is Mardy. Well, yeah, I'm Mardy. What's up, people?
What's up? What's up? But you are fly.
I'm trying my best to be.
And I love the blue. I love the blue.
This head pops on me.
It does. Blue does pop on him, y'all.
I like that.
And so for those of you real quick that want to check us out on YouTube, real quick, check us out on YouTube. But seriously, that blue, that's your thing.
I'm trying to make it. You know, I'm trying to do something with my image a little bit more, because see, the other week we were out and we did the full body pictures, looking at the trees and everything.
Yeah.
And I ain't like my figure that much. And the way I was dressed, so I'm like, I gotta make sure
But you were sharpening it up, because I'm always in the sweatshirt and jeans, but I felt like you were sharp.
But you know, we gotta start off with
yes.
toast, because we made it through another week.
We made it through another
and
week.
We are making progress out here in the beautiful backyard of St. Mark Lutheran Church.
Yes.
You know, if you're just tuning in, we have been doing I guess
well, we called it repurposing and
redoing,
regenerating, using what we have.
Using what we have.
Yes.
And basically, we're gonna have church back in public. You know, back together in person. June 6th, Saturday, Sunday, June 6th, and we are making a new worship area.
Yes,
so
I love
Don's Tree Service has been donating mulch and their advice on everything. So we're making progress. So
I love it. I love it. And I'm glad you're happy. And I'm serious. We literally had a caller call in, so whoever you are out there, and said, why can't you get Mardy some mulch? So I got Mardy some mulch.
Thank you, community. Thank you for calling in and holding her accountable, which we need to do more. Well, I'm just saying, people in our community, we need to do more often. You know, just hold people accountable for what they.
And for those of you are in Atlanta, the reason why I have mulch to give Mardy and to donate to the church is because I do own a tree care company here in Atlanta named Don's Tree Service. And we proudly serve the metro Atlanta area, and we are happy to serve St. Mark Lutheran Church here in beautiful East Point with Minister Mardy.
Right.
I can't want to say Mardy McFly, but you can't really say minister.
You're right. You can't. See, I haven't been able to put those two names together. Right. You know, Minister McFly. I just can't. You know, because
Minister Mardy McFly. That kind of rolls. No, Triple M.
Because, you know, there's that other pastor around here that I respect. I know people hate on him. You know, and I'm not saying one thing or another about his ministry or whatever. But his last name.
Okay.
When I first heard Dollar. It just, you know, reminds me of what Richie Rich, you know, back in the day, the cartoon that I don't know if it was the dog or something called Dollar, but it's like that name. Just kind of make you Creflo Dollar. You know,
can we say his name on the air like that?
It ain't. I'm giving him, you know.
Okay, got it. Get a little something.
I did. You know what? I am hypocritical because I ate at that place that I be talking about.
Yeah.
You know
good food though.
It's good food.
I'm telling you, good
but them
food.
Pork chops, them delicious pork chops.
I'm not even gonna ask why he's eating pork chops, and and if you've been following us for a while, exactly.
Do your information, do your study. I could eat protein all day. You know, it's the mashed potatoes that get me in trouble.
Did you get mashed potatoes or any carbs with it?
No, I did not have mashed potatoes.
What did you have with it?
We ain't gonna talk about that, but I didn't have mashed potatoes because they didn't.
But you did have some type of starch with it.
Yes, I had some corn.
Okay.
And I had some cabbage. You know, I'm saying.
Okay.
You know, it's like this, and I'll tell anybody this.
Yeah.
Okay. Make the diet for you.
Yeah.
You know, don't try to have a diet for somebody else. Just like your religion or the way that you live your life. Do what works for you that makes you happy.
And I'm glad you said that, because that brings up something that I've been, you know, sometimes I get into a flow where it. No, because I'm getting into a flow of like, I go through a phase where I'm listening to worship music, or I go through a phase where I'm listening to a lot of rock, or I go through a phase where I'm listening to jazz. Well, I'm in a phase right now where I'm really feeling a lot of the old school gospel music. Okay. And so I was listening to Daryl Coley. That might be before your time, but Daryl Coley last night, and I was listening to When Sunday Comes.
Okay.
And it was just like, I just got into a flow and I was sitting in there, you know, in my room, just sitting in my chair, and I just felt so thankful and so grateful for my grandmother raising me the way she did, and for the prayers that she prayed over for me on both sides, even though one of my grandmothers I like more than the other. But, you know, just people.
Say that on,
they did. So, but there was a lot of people in my family and my friends and my grandmother's friends that prayed for me. And it made me think about the fact that to them, even though many of them, in fact, all of them that I can think of have passed right now, their prayers kind of kept, in other words, them keeping me in their prayers, honestly, I believe, helped me along the way whenever times were hard. I could feel their presence. And so it made me think about how, you know, a lot of times I talk about being spiritual and not religious, which I am, but I think there's like this woke thing right now where people are so quick to tear down people's faith. It's so quick to say, well, that's not real and this is real and that's not real. And I realized, and there is some truth to that, but you know, for you woke folks out there, don't go trying to take away something that sustained people through times before you got here.
Right.
In other words, yes, I do want to be educated. Yes, I do want to acknowledge that there was a lot of stuff that we were taught as people coming over to this country as slaves. A lot of it was make-believe and fairy tales and kind of manipulated and stuff like that. But the faith that sustained us is real. Us leaning very hard on the Lord whenever things were challenging, that's real. One of the reasons why that song really got to me, When Sunday Comes, is because it talks about how all their troubles will go away on Sunday. And what people don't realize, these woke folks, is that for a lot of people, Sunday was the only day that the slave master was not hovering all over them. Sunday was the only day they weren't going to a job fresh out of slavery where they were, you know, cleaning up slop or doing a maid service or, you know, doing some type of job that may not have been what they wanted to do. And they put up with a whole lot of racism, a whole lot of bigotry, a whole lot of, you know, violence and intimidation just to be able to feed their family. But on Sunday, when they showed up at church, they could release all of that. And so that's one of the reasons why the church has become so big, or became so big in the African American community, because it was the one place where we felt free. And I think right now there's a movement to take that away. And I don't think you necessarily needed to take it away. It just needs to evolve. It needs to become more inclusive. We still need to gather.
You know, Doni, you just opened up a big can. You know you did. I'm saying it's so much in there that, you know, reminded me of a song that, you know, you probably remember this artist when they first came out. It's in your generation, but when Aretha Franklin first came out, you know, do you remember that when she was a new artist?
Well, no, I don't. I'm not that old.
Well, I know you
wait
always
a minute.
talk about how young I am.
Oh my gosh.
She had a song called Ain't Gonna Break My Face.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, you can kill us, you can beat us, you can do all of this stuff, but you're not gonna break my faith. And understand that during those slavery times, they had what they had church. It's a word now I can't remember because I was thinking about it. But what they would do is they would go out in the woods and have church. They would go out, it's like, well, you know, Master, we can go to their church. But it was like, no, this is our
church.
This is where we're going out. And then you understand, why do people go to church? It's not just to be seen.
Right.
But sometimes it's like when I'm looking at a greater power that's outside of me. A
higher power that is outside of me, yes.
Something that is helping me guide myself to another level. And at the same time, I can appreciate you saying, okay, I'm not a religious person, I'm a spiritual person.
Right.
And I even tell people that with the Bible. You know, if you don't believe the stories in the Bible, okay.
Right.
That's okay.
But you can still get the lessons. The principles, you can still get the lessons.
And the messages in there will help you change your life.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
It's just like, you can look at Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill's book. Even those principles, you might say, well, I don't believe that. Okay, the ones that use this and applies this, their life, you can see the direction that it takes.
Right.
The people that look at religion religion more or less the spirituality, because I do sometimes have a problem with religion.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely. Yeah.
The structured aspect of it, because when you for some reason, we have a tendency to want to put God in a box.
Woo! Okay,
You know?
I think he's getting ready to preach, y'all.
No,
I think he's getting ready to preach.
Honest, they think we can put God in a box, and even with Corona coming out, God said, I don't live inside your church.
Preach.
I live outside the wall.
That's right.
And then it's more than just this brick and mortar.
Yeah.
You know, but it's more of your relationship. How do you live life?
Yeah.
How do you want to advance in life?
Yeah.
And what are the principles that you have in it?
Right.
You know, and if you understand, just like I remember having some interns. Well, I was working at a job, but I had a great boss at the time.
Right.
Even though I don't like ever saying that word, but I had a great owner of the company.
Right.
And we had some interns, and he asked them all like, "Well, what is your goals? What do you want in life?" And majority of them, well, I just want some money. I want to be good. I want to make money. He was like, well, do you even know how money works? You know, do you understand?
Do you understand it?
Of
Yeah,
money?
right.
Because if you don't have the concept of how money works, then you will never have it.
You will never have it.
If you want to grow spiritually
or
be comfortable in life, you know, and being full of joy in life, well, how do you get there? Learn your spiritual aspect of your life. What brings you that fullness?
Right.
You know, if it is, okay, getting up in the morning and just meditating.
Yes.
Allowing the
He's preaching right now, y'all.
In a sense, the elements of the world to communicate with you and you talk to them.
Yeah.
You can say it's God. You can say it's just my spiritual higher being. Whatever you want to say, but identify what that is in your life.
You know what? Marty's getting ready to make me cry because I mean, we talk about a lot on this show, but in my heart of hearts, that's what I really want people to know. Through the laughter, through the joking, through talking about entrepreneurship, through talking about our families and stuff. I want people to know that I don't care what they call it, the higher power, God or whatever. There is an entity, a power, a source that loves you. And is there for you, even through your hardest time. All the stuff you thought you wouldn't get through, you got through because somebody loved you.
Somebody loved
you. Even when your family didn't love you, you know there were certain times that you went through in your life that you shouldn't have got through that thing, but something got you through that thing. And I used to joke, I say, you know what? God's nickname is something. Sometimes God's nickname is something, because sometimes we go, I don't know, something just told me. You know, just told me.
And you know what's funny? That is the how you say, the spiritual life.
The Holy Spirit,
Right, and the people in church, well, that's the Holy Spirit talking to me.
Right.
And you put different names on it, but it's the same.
And I'm glad you caught me on that, because of how I grew up, that's what I call it.
Right.
But because I'm also inclusive, I might call it higher power one day. I might call it source one day. But it's all the same thing. Gravity works. Like right now, if I took this cup and dropped it, which is a nice little Don's Tree Service cup.
Very nice, very nice.
But if I took this cup and dropped it, gravity works. It's the same thing. Get this principle. It is the same thing with your higher power. I do not care what you call it. What I do care is that you get a relationship with it.
Yes, and listen to it, because it'll give you that guidance of saying, hey, here's an opportunity for you to do something. And put this thought on you.
Yes.
That's how most people became entrepreneurs.
That's right.
But we're going to have to take a quick break.
Can we stay on this subject when we come back a little bit? Because I feel like we're,
you're listening to Doni Jones Live with Doni Jones and me, myself, and I'm Marty McFly, and we'll be right back.
Yeah.
Cool. It's a new day, it's a new season, and it's time for us to come back together and worship. Hey, I'm Minister Marty Ringer, and I'm inviting you to come out and worship with me and my St. Mark family, starting Sunday, June 6th at 11 a.m. We're actually worshiping in person. We're still worshiping outside and following the CDC guidelines with social distancing, but it is time now for us to come out and come together and worship. It's going to be a great day. It's just not a church service, but it's a family experience. Enjoy food, music, and a message with me, Minister Marty Ringer, and my St. Mark family. St. Mark is located at 4137 Washington Road in East Point, Georgia, right off of 285. So come out Sunday, June 6th at 11 a.m. Bring your lawn chairs and your umbrellas. Dress casual and enjoy the day. And let's worship together. St. Mark is located at 4137 Washington Road in East Point. We'll see you June 6th.
Hi, I'm Doni the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service and author of my book, From Failure to Fabulous. From Failure to Fabulous is my story about taking my life from being an abject failure to building a fabulous life that I absolutely love. And I'm hoping that you'll take the time to check out my book, From Failure to Fabulous.
Be inspired by Doni's journey from failure to fabulous, as she explains how she started with $45 and a business card, and with perseverance and commitment, she took that small dream and turned it into $1 million company. From Failure to Fabulous by Doni Jones, the Tree Lady, available on Amazon and all online bookstores.
Experience it this weekend. Christ Cathedral of Killeen, a healing place, phenomenal worship experience, life-changing word. Come worship with us. Sunday school, 9 a.m. Sunday morning worship, 11 a.m. Thursday night Bible study, 7 p.m. Christ Cathedral of Killeen. Located at 3629 Veterans Memorial Boulevard, Killeen, Texas. Dr. Harold G. Van Arsdale, Senior Pastor. Join us this Sunday. You belong here. Everyone needs a place to belong. A place where you can experience warmth, love, and unity. A place where your entire family is accepted and respected. A place where you can learn more about God's purpose and plan for your life. At Christ Cathedral of Killeen, we have created that kind of place for you. Christ Cathedral of Killeen, 3629 Veterans Memorial Boulevard in Killeen, Texas. Visit us online at christcathedralofkilleen.org or 817-885-0514.
Welcome back to Doni Jones Live, where I am hanging out with that guy.
Hi, Mardy, Big Fly.
Yeah.
You know, and really today, I guess we're getting a little bit more serious, but
Yeah.
we really want to talk to people to say,
Yeah.
okay, I have learned something. And first, I want to put a disclaimer out there. Doni was recommending something to everybody on this show, and I was kind of being sarcastic with it, like, really?
Yeah.
You know, you could just go online and look at a whole book, you know, listen to a whole book. And last week I went to a funeral in Mississippi, and it was
Yeah.
about a 5-hour drive.
Yeah.
So I said, why don't I put on, or see what she's talking about, and I put on the book, Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
You know, I flipped through it some years ago, but this time I was like, I'm gonna really listen to it
Yeah.
again. And it really has put a fire up under me.
That's
you know,
awesome.
and
Thank you.
it allowed me to understand what we were talking about in the last segment.
Yeah.
Of how that spirit or that feeling that comes and tells you, hey,
Yeah.
this is something that you need to do.
Infinite intelligence.
Why don't you do this? And when you act upon that,
Right.
that's where that blessing comes.
He's speaking
and
right
you
now.
turn around and say, oh, I don't know. It's just something told me to, why don't you print on some wood? You
Yeah.
know, next thing I know, I printed on some wood, and next thing
Yeah.
you know, you have a whole business.
Yes,
you have
absolutely.
a new industry.
Right.
But just like you was saying, you know what? I used to always like playing in trees and in the woods.
Yep.
Why don't I just go get a business card?
Yeah.
And next thing you know,
Got a
you
tree
have
service.
a multi-million-dollar tree company.
Yeah,
From
absolutely.
acting upon that spirit.
Yes.
That one thing that said, you know.
Yeah.
And then I want to kind of caveat to this, because I want everybody to hear this. There's a scripture in the Bible that says,
Yes.
don't forget, I chose you.
Ooh.
You didn't choose me.
Yes.
And that's in your industry.
Right.
That's in your church.
Yes.
That's in what you do.
That's right.
I chose you.
That's
you know,
right.
he chose you to be in the tree care company.
Yes.
And he wanted you to be in the tree care company because he wanted you to bear fruit.
That. Ooh.
You know, and your fruit actually allows other people to eat. You know, so, and that's why that second commandment is love yourself, love your
Right.
neighbors as yourself, because
That's
you
right.
produce fruit for other people.
Oh.
And that becomes your blessing. And it goes actually in the
That's
same
right.
thing in Napoleon's book. Of,
Yeah.
if you really want to make riches, you work for other people. You do services for other people.
That's
so
right.
I'm on my.
You can stay, dude. He can keep moving. I'm just gonna sit. I'm gonna sit down and just listen today. But no, it's we really want you guys to get this, because people are running around right now. What am I gonna do for a job? What am I gonna do for a career? What am I gonna do about my kids? What am I gonna do about XYZ? Everything you need, you already have.
Yep.
And if you don't have it, if you set your mind to doing what you can do right now, it'll come.
It'll come.
And the thing that gets me is that when I talk about Think and Grow Rich, when I talk about the power of positive thinking, when I talk about certain scriptures, because I do read certain scriptures, when I talk about the science of, I already said that one, but when I talk about any of these books, The Secret, people go, well, if it was that simple, everybody would do it. And that's not true. Because you know what? You got to believe that it's true for it to work.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
If it were that, let's talk about that in life. It's simple. It's so simple to lose weight. But is everybody doing it? No.
No.
You ever walk by somebody and they got really bad breath, which I hope mine ain't bad right now.
Talking about me, I ate at that.
But they got really bad breath and they teeth rotten out of their mouth. Well, it's so simple. Everybody brushes their teeth in the morning. No, they don't.
No, they don't.
You know?
They don't.
It's so simple. This person, you know, got a rash in their head, and it's so simple. All they got to do is get some Calming lotion and it'll just go away. It's so simple. Well, it's the same thing with success principles.
Yeah.
This stuff is simple. People use it every single day. The secret is there is no secret. And all those principles that you talk about for biblical principles on how to live, success principles coming out of these books and stuff, if you pick up the books and you read them or listen to them on audio and actually do it, it will happen. That doesn't mean it's going to be easy.
Oh no, it's not going to be easy, and it's not going to happen just overnight.
No, it's not.
Excuse me. I got something in my throat all of a sudden. But, you know, that's one of the things that we feel that it didn't happen this week.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Right.
You know,
right.
we have this sense of, here's two things. Somebody going to write this down. When you're praying, delayed does not mean denied. But when you have a dream,
come on,
delayed means it's denied.
That's right.
You know, when you defer your dream, actually Langston Hughes said that.
Right.
If you defer your dream, then it becomes denied.
Right.
Because that dream is given to you for right now, for this season, for this time.
Yeah.
For you to act upon it. You know, act upon it, because when it comes, you will see the payoff. You'll
That's right.
feel the payoff.
That's
and,
right.
And it will pay off if you just keep the work.
Exactly.
You know,
if you do the work.
Working on it. You know, I look at one of the things that really reminds me of my ministry and everything and encourages me is, you know, and people say what you want to say about him, but I look at T.D. Jakes' life story and understand that the person that we see now was not
That's not the same person. Exactly.
He had holes in his shoes and nobody at the church.
Yeah.
And he's striving and trying, and his mama in the back cooking chicken, trying to keep the bills. You know, this is a journey. Yeah. You know, it's not something that you're going to work. Hey, I got a great idea and tomorrow I'm going to be rich.
That's right.
No.
And that's the other thing. A lot of times we want to, and granted, we know for a fact that ministry has been used to manipulate people. But you know what? Other businesses have been used to manipulate people. Companies manipulate people. Media companies. Right now, everything you do on social media is used to track you so they can sell you stuff.
Right.
So I understand that there's an awakening right now and people want something different. People want something that's, you know, in their opinion, more real and more substantial. And that's fine. I'm with you on that. But the principles to live a successful life are the same. Right. The principles to get where you got to go
is the same.
It's the same.
It's still going to be hard work.
It's hard work.
You got to put the work. And I want to always say hard work, because if you love what you do, you really don't feel like you're working.
That's so true.
You know, you enjoy you enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
You know, and that's even I think Russell Simmons was saying that. Understand, this is not a destination spot. Right. This is a journey.
It is.
You know, and you enjoy the journey, the ups and downs of the journey.
That's right.
You know,
well, you even calling it a journey. Well, when you're going on a journey, there's a stopping point, there's a beginning point, there's a point where you're tired, there's a point where you may not know, you got to get your directions. It's a journey. Well, it's the same thing whenever you're journeying to building a successful life. And what I wanted to do is just slow down just for a hot second and give people just two tools for right now, and then we'll talk about another one a little bit later on. But one of the things you can do is just raise your standards. If you're not this is straight out of Think and Grow Rich. This is straight out of Tony Robbins, any of his material. It's straight out of The Science of Getting Rich. I want you to read the books. I want you to do that. But for right now, if you're not ready to do that, I want you to at least do this. Raise your standards. Sit down and figure out what you want your life to look like and what you're not happy with. Now, here's the key, though. I've just said that on the radio. I just said it on the internet. Do you know most people will not, after this show is off, sit down and take out a pen and paper and write down what they want their life to look like? One of the first keys to success, is just sitting down and writing out what your vision is for your life. Now, going back to what you were saying.
Chapter in your book, I think.
Yeah. There you go. You did read it. But that's also more, once again, going back to the woke thing, which for some reason I got on that, where people are always trying to tear down people's faith. I am not going to tear down my grandmother's faith. Oh, no. I am not going to tear down the faith that got. I'm not Muslim, okay, but my dad is, okay? My dad did a lot of crazy stuff. We've already talked about that. But my dad, prior to meeting my mom, okay, my dad was a drug addict. He had spent 9 years in prison.
Right.
He was stealing and thieving and stuff like that. And so he did some very horrible things before he married my mom and settled down to build what he thought was a good life. It's crazy stuff. But my thing is, his faith got him off drugs.
Yes.
His belief in whatever it is he believed got him off drugs. My grandmother, she was Christian. Okay,
Right.
but her first husband, who is my dad's father, committed suicide. And in the 1940s and 50s, her being a single mom, raising a young boy who's got some mental and emotional problems, the only thing she had to rely on was her faith. So you got woke people running around talking about, oh, that's not real, that's not this, that, and the other. It's not that the stories may be manipulated, but that faith that got her through is real.
And let's just be honest, okay?
Yeah.
I just want to be really, really real. For me,
Yeah.
if I didn't study religion and I didn't study, how to be a better person for other people,
Yeah.
I was going to study something.
Right.
And if I didn't have that understanding of the fear of God or, wanting to be a true disciple, well, I would probably be really, really studying how to break into your house and get away. I would really be studying how can I get these guys, how can we organize to rob y'all, during a crisis. That's me.
Right.
I'm saying, but you take away somebody's faith.
What are you giving them? What you got to offer? What are you exactly?
What are you asking them to do? Because a lot of these guys that have gotten out of prison, they try to make a better way.
That's right.
So you introduce them to, here's a biblical aspect.
Right.
Here's some biblical principles.
Yeah.
If you really purposely try to take that out, what do you think?
What are you offering them?
What are you offering? And
Right.
think that if they don't go the good, like the Matrix, if you ain't offering them the red pill,
Right.
and they take the blue pill,
Right.
don't be upset if
Right.
they say, what's the preventing me from beating you up?
Or can you at least, if you're going to offer them something, why do you have to offer them something and tear down somebody else's stuff? And I admit, I went through a phase, and I still believe in telling truth. I do still believe in understanding where these stories come from, the culture back then, how women were treated, how people in the LGBTQ plus community were treated. I believe in reading and understanding why there are certain things that we need to have a conversation about. But to try to take what somebody has used to sustain them spiritually and just say it's garbage, that we're not gonna do, and that we can't do. And so, and I think there's like this undertone of, oh, that's all stupid. That's it. There's black people right now in this country that would not be alive if it were not for people praying, people marching, people showing up in churches and holding hands and trying to find a better way to do something.
And understand this, even though I am, and I'm gonna put a public service announcement out there. This is why I enjoy and I gravitated to the Lutheran Church, because when I got out of the church that I grew up in, and I said I have my own understanding. I have my own thing that I think we're both saints and sinners, and we are, we're good people. God loves us. I found the Lutheran Church, and that was their belief system. We all saints and sinners. You're not perfect or whatever. But then also, I realized that I have no grounds to tell you that if you are a Muslim, that your religion is wrong. No, that's what
sustains that person.
In India, and you
or Hindu
serve a different thing, and then and people will argue, well, especially like Christian people. Well, no, you got to serve this one thing, and I said, well, Jesus said I got people in this sheepfold, but I got people in other sheepfolds.
But see, they don't read. You actually read.
Right. He said I got y'all. But there's other people here too.
That's
Even
right.
When it says the vine, I got y'all on this part of the vine. I got other people on the vine. It's not all about you. So just because you
could you repeat that so the people in the back can hear it? It ain't all about you.
Get over your own Holy Ghost. It's not all about you.
Right.
It's God is a God for all, not just for the blacks. It's not just for the whites. It's not just for the straight.
Right.
He's a God for all. So
exactly.
And
your rules and regulations that somebody made up 2,000 years ago, 500 years ago, or 80 years ago, don't necessarily apply. And if you keep pushing that, then what the good that was there is going to be left aside. But anyway,
we got to take a break real quick and just understand the Bible is vast. But don't start to pick
vast productions.
Right, don't just try to pick your little element of it and say, I'm going to make it for everybody. But anyway, you're listening to Doni Jones Live with Doni Jones, Mardy McFly, sponsored by Don's Tree Service. Yes. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live.
It's a new day, it's a new season, and it's time for us to come back together and worship. Hey, I'm Minister Mardy Ringer, and I'm inviting you to come out and worship with me and my St. Mark family. Starting Sunday, June 6th at 11 a.m. We're actually worshiping in person. We're still worshiping outside and following the CDC guidelines with social distancing. But it is time now for us to come out and come together and worship. It's going to be a great day. It's just not a church service, but it's a family experience. Enjoy food, music, and a message. With me, Minister Mardy Ringer, and my St. Mark family. St. Mark is located at 4137 Washington Road in East Point, Georgia, right off of 285. So come out Sunday, June 6th at 11 a.m. Bring your lawn chairs and your umbrellas. Dress casual and enjoy the day. And let's worship together. St. Mark is located at 4137 Washington Road in East Point. We'll see you June 6th.
First, people got sick and I couldn't go to school. Then another police shooting. My mom and dad were upset. It seemed like they were losing hope. But then I told them, don't worry, there's still hope.
Manna Publishing presents the House of Hope Story and Coloring Activity Book. It's 44 pages of inspiration with coloring activities to calm your mind and redirect your attention. Children and adults can use this tool to relax, focus, and best of all, be inspired to find hope. Get your copy today at mannapublishing.com. Now when the weather starts to change, the wrenches start to fall, who you gonna call?
Don's Tree Service.
If it's looking kinda weak and it's looking kinda bleak, for a tree specialist call.
Don's Tree Service.
If the trees in your yard are just too tall, who you gonna call?
Don's Tree Service.
If the tree is in the street or the tree is in your back seat, who you gonna call?
Don's Tree Service.
When your tree branches begin to fall, it's only one company to call, Don's Tree Service. If you just need a little trimming or stump removal, we do it all. Don's Tree Service, 770-413-TREE. Fully licensed and insured, and we've been serving the Atlanta area for over 10 years.
Hi, I'm Johnny the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service and certified arborist. When it falls, you know who to call. Call for a free estimate at 770-413-TREE. That's 770-413-8733.
When it falls, you know who to call.
Don's Tree Service.
Welcome back to Doni Jones Live, where we are heated.
Heated.
In a good way, though.
In a good way.
We want to spread some love.
Spread love.
I'm Doni the Tree Lady, your neighborhood arborist, certified arborist, and this guy is...
Marty McFly, the minister, that guy that's... Yeah, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to rhyme no more.
But I know, but piggybacking, we've just been talking about God being a God of all. Yeah. And that stop trying to, us woke people, and I consider myself a woke person, but stop trying to take what sustains somebody away.
Yeah.
Let grandma, grandpa, or even, it ain't even gotta be grandma, it can be your friend. If your friend has a faith that she believes in, a spiritual walk that she believes in, stop trying to tear it down just because you're in a different mindset and you're woker than everybody else. Because you know what? One of the reasons why people can say they're so woke and they're so evolved and stuff is because somebody was in the background before you were born doing the hard work.
Doing the hard work.
And I think we forget that.
And just because you're awake don't mean you're doing anything.
Oh,
you know,
I think you're talking right now.
I'm woke. But what is that? Okay.
Yeah.
Because you decided to go a different direction.
But they got a hashtag though.
Hashtag woke. You know, and sometimes it's like you don't even know what you don't know yet.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Because I will, being honest, a lot of us have been programmed to think that we are the one that knows all.
Right.
You know, and when I was growing up, I just knew the religion that I grew up in, that's the true one.
Right.
You know, and anybody else, that's that fake stuff.
Right.
You know, and then it's like after I started educating myself, I started realizing, they got some things that make more sense than mine.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
mine, I can understand the differences.
Right.
Or when you start really opening up your mind and say, okay, it's bigger than just me.
See, that's the key. It's bigger than just me. Your rules and regulations may not even apply to another culture, another people, another language. And I think it's so amazing that we can understand that God made all these different beautiful people, all these beautiful languages, all these different beautiful cultures, but then there's only one way to communicate with him.
That's only one way.
Exactly.
If you don't do that, you're just a heathen.
And this is the worst. And if you don't believe, well, then you're just going to Hades. Well, you know what? Gravity works whether you believe or whether you don't believe. Yeah. And if you truly believe God sees all and loves all, he's going to love that person that doesn't even understand how to believe or just chooses not to believe. Because a lot of times people choose not to believe, not because of God, but because they saw some human being do in the name of God. So they may have their own journey. They might meditate. Right. They might, you know, do yoga. They might, whatever.
It's this little phrase that we say, you know, God loves the sinner. He hates the sin.
Yeah.
But he loves the sinner. It's like regardless of if you don't know God or God, you know, has no interest in your life or whatever, that doesn't mean God is looking at you the same way.
Right.
You know, God is taking care of you, you know, and
we're all we're all taken care of.
Yeah,
we are all taken care of. Mm-hmm. We are all free to communicate in our own way with the higher power. But stop beating up on people's, you know. Now, if somebody comes to you and wants to understand, you know, well, why do you think this way and what research has, that's a different story. But just going all out and just destroying everybody's belief system, I'm done with that.
I don't know if you've seen it on. And I don't know why I just laugh at him now, but he's an atheist that has a commercial on, and he always comes on
it's like, Ronald Reagan's son.
I'm like, little fella, why? You know.
But you know, he grew up in a very that's Ronald Reagan's son.
Oh yeah.
And oh my God. And the guy actually is not a bad. In fact, atheists are some of my favorite people.
Oh, I know.
And actually, atheists. Some of my favorite people are atheists. Not only that, they're some of the nicest people in the world, and they don't need a whole lot of rules and regulations to be a good person.
Right.
They just think you should be a good person so you can be a good person.
You know, one of the closest people that was in my life, who's gone on now, was an atheist, but he was more righteous than anybody that I knew.
Yeah.
He was an upstanding citizen, you know, really a down-to-earth person that I could talk. He knew the Bible.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. A lot of times atheists know the Bible better than y'all know the Bible. Go ahead.
But it's a openness, and he wasn't one of them that, y'all stupid for doing
right.
This.
No.
And you know, it's interesting, on his deathbed he prayed, you know, with me.
Yeah.
But it's just, you know, so I respect everyone, you know, and I just ask for everyone to respect
each other,
know, and respect each other, you know.
What would happen if in the world if we all just started respecting each other and stopped saying, well, my way is right and your way is wrong? What do you think that would look like in the world?
Man, you know, I think it'll start looking like cross-color shoes. You know, and I say it like that because, see, people think that if you put different colors together, then it's multicultural. But no, it's just a colored room. Yeah. You know, but until you actually weld things together and
make a beautiful tapestry,
then that's multicultural shoes or multicolored shoe, you know, in a sense. So
I don't know what he's trying to say. It's not quite coming out right, but that's good. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is, until you start really mixing and knowing people and talking to people, that's when you start mixing and having appreciation for somebody else.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so I'm trying to make it sound right.
But anyway, okay. So what else is going on in the world, man? We kind of float on that one, but I felt like I needed that.
Came in today with this passion on her, like I just gotta get on that. So
because I do think about, just real quick, because I do think about how much my grandmother prayed for me, and how much my dad, even though I got issues with him, how much he prayed for me. I think about the depression that my mom went through, how she prayed to get out of the situation she was in, and even though I don't necessarily appreciate how she got out of it, she's out of it. You know,
might not like the gift that is wrapped in, but I like the gift. You know,
so she did get what she prayed for, which was to get out of it. She's with my brother, she's with my sister, and you know, she's in a safe place. There's nobody hitting her, there's nobody beating her. And of course I would have liked to see things pan out differently, but I do know that based on her understanding, that in a way her prayers were answered.
Oh yeah.
You know, and so I just think about stuff like that. I look at the blessing of my grandmother before she passed. You know, she was at peace, you know, and she was just a good woman, you know, and she did that, and she sustained that through her faith. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. You know what, you've taken this a whole different way, so I don't know how to I got something in my throat this morning. I don't know what it is. I keep trying to clear it out. And we got these other kind of mics, so I keep trying to see if I can just turn my head, but it's on my, you know.
So with this kind of mic, if you turned your head, they can't pick the coughing up?
Still pick it up. That's what I was saying. We usually have the one, you know. Anyway, y'all can't see this on radio, But yeah, we have lapel mics that are attached to our shirts versus the kind of microphones that'll be sitting on the table that you will cover the microphone up and you turn your head.
Got it.
But with these it's still so anyway. But no.
But we need to tell people how to get in contact with us real quick.
Please do, because I want
Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. Hit us up on YouTube, Instagram. On Instagram, I'm actually the Tree Lady, or you'll pull up Doni Jones Live. You could also look up the show on iTunes, because we do take this information and make it into a podcast. So we'd love it if you supported our podcast. But please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Our big thing is we really want you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Yes. And also, if you know somebody that'd be very interesting for us to interview, because I do interviews with people, and I enjoy sharing people in the community that are doing great things.
We love to highlight those people that are doing good things, not just doing stuff.
So,
there's a difference. You know, we got people that I pick up cans every day, you know, trying to get
But if they're picking up cans,
I'm just saying, you see them.
If they're picking up cans to keep the community clean, that's a different story.
No.
Oh, I do got something to say.
What's that?
I went ahead. I got the shot.
What? You got a shot?
Yes.
See, y'all, this is a big thing for Doni, because she was not going to get one at all. I got my second one.
And I will tell you why. Because I travel a lot. I still think this thing needs more research. But I travel a lot, so that's why I got the shot.
Starting to make you have proof that you got your shot.
Yeah. So I didn't want to get stuck.
Because you wanted. It's like, okay.
No,
I had to get clearance because I want to fly. So I gotta have my okay.
But you should just be thankful that I did it.
I am. They was gonna make you do it one way or another, and I'm happy about that.
And you just got your second one, right?
Yep, I got my second one, and I don't have any symptoms. You know, I was kind of.
I haven't had any symptoms.
I was kind of concerned about, because a lot of people say after the second one, because they give you a strand or a piece of the virus or some kind of the virus, so your body can start working against it. So I was kind of concerned, like I was gonna be maybe sick for a day or having a cold or something like that for a day. But actually,
your voice does sound a little deeper.
Oh, that's always good. But
oh my God.
But my arm a little sore. But other than that, I'm good. But Doni, excuse me. I wanted to kind of segue, because we touched on it earlier about when.
I'm glad, because I ain't got nothing to segue to. Thank you. I'm blank over here.
But about entrepreneurship and.
Okay, that I can talk about.
And we were talking about when things, you say like the spirit speaks to you, or this force or something speaks to you.
Yeah.
I wanted to encourage people to, if something says something to you as an entrepreneur, step out on there. Don't wait. I'm doing something right now, and I bring that up because a couple of episodes ago, about 2 weeks ago, somebody said, Doni, you cut down all these trees and people ask you for wood.
Yeah.
Why don't you do something with it?
That's right.
And I don't know why I had that thought then, like, what if you could print your logo and stuff
like that? It's funny you say that, because that's what I'm actually looking into doing right now.
Oh, yeah?
I really, and not only that, I want to do the logos, but I also want to, I love doing inspirational stuff.
Yeah.
And literally, I was in Target. They had a piece of wood with you got a piece of wood. They had a piece of wood with inspirational stuff on it, and I'm like, I want to do that. So we'll have a line of that coming out. I'll probably start off on Etsy or an online store or something like that.
And that's why you got to work fast, because somebody else will take your idea quickly.
Oh my God!
And thought about, like, what if I had an inspirational thought, and like my thought for that day was, okay, now what's next? And
you did this?
And I printed this and I put it on a piece of wood, and I was like, hey,
how did you do this?
Right. See, I can't say that because now we on radio. And then you had told me a long time ago about
Mardy,
how, some of the things that we just do that we take for granted.
Yes.
I took a picture a long time ago of a dandelion.
Yeah.
And I posted it on.
And it was really beautiful.
So I said, how do I put that on?
How the heck did you do this?
So now it's something that I'm working for, but what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to tell people right now on radio is that,
wow, this is so beautiful.
Take that thought that is inspired.
You guys have got, hold on for a second. You guys have got to go to YouTube and check out our channel. I'm showing this creation that Mardy made. So he and I are now going to have to partner on this, because I got to do it. I'm a partner with him.
Yeah,
he didn't ask for a partner, but
Yeah.
Man, that's amazing, man. Go ahead.
But that's what I wanted to just tell any young person, seasoned person, whatever, if you have a thought or a dream, work with it. Now, these are not perfect. These are not, but it's like, you know what?
It's pretty darn amazing.
It's the starting point because everything gets better and gets better.
I love it.
But work on that because now you can take this and go to Auburn, the Auburn Festival and say, hey, $4 or $5, $10, but you can make your own wealth.
Yes.
By just saying, what do I have? Because this right here costs less than $10 to make a couple of these.
I am so impressed. I'm
trying to make them a little bit more fashionable, so I'm
gonna cry.
But look, check this out. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna go to commercial.
I'm gonna cry.
And we're gonna talk a little bit more about this. But it's about being an entrepreneur and doing something that,
Mardy has caught me off guard.
Yes. Anyway, you're listening to Doni Jones Live with Doni and Mardy McFly, and we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live.
It's a new day, it's a new season, and it's time for us to come back together and worship. Hey, I'm Minister Mardy Ringer, and I'm inviting you to come out and worship with me and my St. Mark family. Starting Sunday, June 6th at 11 a.m. We're actually worshiping in person. We're still worshiping outside and following the CDC guidelines with social distancing. But it is time now for us to come out and come together and worship. It's going to be a great day. It's just not a church service, but it's a family experience. Enjoy food, music, and a message. With me, Minister Mardy Ringer, and my St. Mark family. St. Mark is located at 4137 Washington Road in East Point, Georgia, right off of 285. So come out Sunday, June 6th at 11 a.m. Bring your lawn chairs and your umbrellas. Dress casual and enjoy the day. And let's worship together. St. Mark is located at 4137 Washington Road in East Point. We'll see you June 6th.
Hi, I'm Donnie the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service and author of my book, From Failure to Fabulous. From Failure to Fabulous is my story about taking my life from being an abject failure to building a fabulous life that I absolutely love. And I'm hoping that you'll take the time to check out my book, From Failure to Fabulous.
Be inspired by Donnie's journey from failure to fabulous as she explains how she started with $45 and a business card. And with perseverance and commitment, she took that small dream and turned it into $1 million company. From Failure to Fabulous by Doni Jones, the Tree Lady. Available on Amazon and all online bookstores.
Welcome back to Doni Jones Live, where I have been blown away by Mr. Mardy McFly. This is why you got to go on YouTube so you can see this really cool stuff he's done. And when you're there at YouTube, like, share, and subscribe.
Right.
Love this. This is you thought of this.
Yeah, it was a inspiration that we all came up with. We were talking about it.
We were.
And these are good
Clearly we're gonna put exactly.
But no, I've done this 2 or 3 times in my life.
Yeah.
Where I've been in the presence of other people and we have an idea of saying, you know what? How can we make some money?
Yeah.
And some younger guys that I was with some years ago, about 5 or 6 years ago, I said, well, you have a lawnmower, I have a lawnmower. I'm gonna show you how we can make money.
Yeah.
And I just printed out some flyers, made a little flyer on my computer.
Yeah.
I think it was 3 guys and a lawnmower.
Yeah.
Printed it out, posted it, and before that day was over with, we had 3 or 4 clients.
Wow, that's awesome.
To go out to just cut the grass. So what I'm telling you now is, as an entrepreneur, as that spirit in a sense speaks to you, listen to it and act upon it. Don't let that dream say, well, you know what, I have to work on that next week.
Right. And that's the key. Don't work, whenever an inspiration comes to you, you can mull it over if you want to, but what I have found best, you take some type of action. Take some type of action.
Right.
Because those, you got to honor, and the more you honor those inspirations and those thoughts, more will start to come to you.
Yeah.
In fact, the lady that invented Spanx, she says she's got 999 thoughts on paper of different ideas of businesses, projects, and things she wants to, just write them down.
Write them down. And here's the thing. Don't think about, well, I don't know how to do it yet. Because yes, if y'all can see this, I don't know. Last week I didn't know how to do this.
Yeah.
It was a thought, but with just a little bit of research, going online, understanding what polyurethane is or whatever.
Yeah.
And you realize, I can go to the dollar store and buy this.
Yes.
And I can just go to Home Depot and buy, and you realize it doesn't cost you a whole lot.
That's right.
And then you start growing.
Yeah.
This is...
You guys, Mardy is not just talking right now. He is kicking knowledge right now, because that's how entrepreneurs do things. That's how business people do. I'm in the tree care industry, and this big old tree behind, any of these big trees behind us started off as a little acorn.
Yep.
And an acorn is the same thing as a thought. You take that thought and you plant it, and then you take action, meaning you water it and you nurture it. It'll start to grow, and it'll grow bigger than you thought. The lady in Atlanta right now that she's a beast businesswoman, Slutty Vegan.
Oh, yes.
She literally started in 2018 and has built a multi-million-dollar company with veggie burgers, and she was also listed in Forbes last year. This lady was listed in Forbes, and she just started her company in 2018. You don't know what you can do. You know?
You just have to do it.
Yeah. Tell her about with Mardy. He's a production gentleman, right? But I've always told him he's got a great eye. You were at a funeral last week. Tell me what happened.
My uncle in Mississippi passed. Everybody knows about funerals. You have everybody in the country, everybody and their mama gonna come out there. So it was more or less like a family reunion, because we hadn't been together in years, because of the COVID. But I just took it upon myself. You know what? Instead of just taking regular pictures of, the still pictures of your family, of your phone, I took my picture out there and I tried to make candid shots of people.
Yeah.
Just shots of seeing them, not just mourning or anything like that, but just being engaged and doing it for the love.
Yes.
And I posted them, on Facebook. And if you are a friend of mine on Facebook, and even if you're not, you can see the pictures on Mardy, M-A-R-D-Y, Ringer.
Yeah.
That's me on Facebook. But I posted all these pictures just giving them love, but the response that I got was overwhelming.
Yes.
People that wasn't in my family was like, wow, these are nice pictures.
Very nice pictures.
Just because I wanted to do something for service.
And think about this, how many people actually focus? I mean, I know when a funeral it's hard to focus on this, but think about how many moments at a funeral you would love to capture.
Yeah.
When family members you haven't seen in forever, there to celebrate and celebrate and honor someone's life. Why not have a photographer at the funeral home?
Right. Yeah.
Why not, or at the repast or wherever. But it was a beautiful moment. It was an absolutely beautiful moment. And that was born out of you just being creative. You're already a photographer.
Yeah.
But nobody really talks about where's a photographer at the funeral.
Right. And it's not really taking pictures of, because everybody says it's a celebration of life.
Right.
But I wanted to capture that.
You captured it.
That time.
You did. You captured it.
And it turned out well. I was happy with it. My family was happy with it. But at the same time, I now say this because we're about to start wrapping up. Everything that I've done in my life, at this point, I will say I'm pretty much successful. I'm happy at where I'm at. I always can get more. Yeah. But from my starting points, it started with me saying, what can I do for you?
Yes.
That's
how we started.
That's how we started. This is how I started in this industry. A radio DJ named Reggie Gay said, does anybody just want to come down and volunteer to help me at the radio station?
Yeah.
It wasn't, will I get credit for my class? How much you gonna pay me? It wasn't even
about that.
It was like, let me do this.
Yeah.
That turned into 2 months of me doing that. I got hired at a radio station, a major radio station.
Wow.
Me being there, not saying, well, y'all only paying me for 5 hours, so I'm going to be here for 5 hours. I was there, and it grew me to put me into areas where people wanted to pay me.
That's right.
People started, helping me out.
And you guys, his voice has been heard all over the United States, all over the world, actually. He's done commercials and spots and everything all over the world.
And I am
and we're thankful to have you. But I'm also thankful though that you're talent with us. But and we do this show together. But the same thing happened with my tree service. Mm-hmm. When I started my tree service, I wasn't thinking trucks, equipment, and we're going to do this, and then I'm going to get married and have these 2 amazing kids, and then we're going to build a life, and it's going to live in a great house and stuff. I just wanted to be happy, and I had an inspiration. I was out driving, trying to clear my mind, and I just had a thought. It was just a thought, okay? A thought. I should start a tree service. The last time I was really happy was when I was in the tree care industry when I was working with my brother in St. Louis, Missouri. It was just a thought. I acted on that thought. And that thought has now built a successful tree care company.
Right, with
trucks, equipment, millions of dollars in business, and we are blessed. We are absolutely blessed. But it started with a thought. There are those of you out there right now that have a thought.
Yep.
But you don't trust that thought. Start trusting what God has put in you. Start trusting. And here's the cool thing. There's been stuff that I wanted to try even within my own business that came to me as a thought, right? I tried it, it didn't work, but then it led me to something else that did work. So a lot of times we have a thought and then we try it and we think, oh, well, that didn't work. Well, guess what? It may lead you to something else that's bigger and better.
And it's like this, Einstein had several failures before he had the light bulb.
That's right.
But that's what pushes you to get to that success.
That's right.
This, these little things, right? This isn't my first one. This is like my second or third one, but it gets better.
It gets better, and that's beautiful.
Get better and get better. And so when you do it, I'm saying, even that little, I was telling you about the grass cutting job. Yeah, I only had a lawnmower, and we cut the grass, and we said, it ain't as good as we wanted to be. So we realized, okay, well, we need to invest in a weed eater too.
Yeah.
And then blower. And then you start realizing what you don't have, but it's that, like we said earlier, that progression. It's the journey. You build, you grow, you learn. I would say every downfall, look at it as this is a blessing. I
always say call it fail forward.
Yeah,
it's not really fail, you fall forward. Which reminds me of my book, From Failure to Fabulous. Get it on Amazon, From Failure to Fabulous. You guys, we want to see you succeed in 2021, in 2022, 2023. People, it's not a secret. Everybody think that there's a secret. Anybody that is super duper successful, yes, there's people that stole money. Yes, there's people that manipulated the market. Yes, there's people, but that's not what you need to be concerned about. There are honest, good, successful people that started with an idea and built something. Stop being so concerned about all the bad people out there. There are millions of good people, not hundreds of thousands, millions of good people that started with an idea and built a beautiful life. Your beautiful life doesn't have to be 20, 30, 40, 500 million, whatever. Your beautiful life might be, you know what, I'd like to make $200,000-$300,000 a year, work, in something that I love doing, have time to spend with my kids, and, put aside a nest egg for myself and my family. That could be your beautiful life. But whatever that beautiful life is, it's not going to happen if you don't start honoring those thoughts, feelings, and ideas that come to you. You've already had a thought, feeling, or idea that would change your life, but you didn't trust it.
Hey, man. Now we're going to pass around the plate. She don't preach for today. So, govern yourselves accordingly. You can donate a little bit or a lot,
You know how we want them to donate? We want you to go to YouTube and hit subscribe. That's the only, we don't want no money from you, unless you want production, but I'm saying.
And really, I would ask for you to take what you hear and actually apply it.
Yeah.
Just like, if you hear a great sermon, it's always good. But at the same time, it really is more effective when you apply it to your life.
Absolutely.
So these things that we're saying right now, because I know somebody right now listening to us on radio or watching us online, you have a dream. Something has been placed on your heart, even if it's that book, if it's that, let me start my own chicken bone throwing contest series. I believe in this, but work on it. Start on it today. I'm saying, at least like Doni said earlier, start writing it down.
Start writing it
down where I want to be at, what kind of goal it is, but more so, don't let the grass grow up under your feet.
Exactly. And I'm going to put this out there, and I'm not trying to be harsh. If once this program is over, you do not take out a sheet of paper and write down what you want your life to look like and what your goals are in life, you're not serious about changing your life. Because that is literally the first step. Do not, after this show, if you do not stop and write down what you want your life to look like, you're not serious about changing your life.
Right.
It starts with writing it down and making it plain. And I know that we're on a lot of gospel stations, but and I love that. But one of the things that it says in the Bible is to, write the vision and make it plain. That's a biblical principle right there. He's the preacher. I'm just a spiritual person that believes in the universal energy, love, and all that kind of stuff. This is the preacher right here telling you it is in your Bible.
It is in your Bible. And since we have a hot second left, because we were talking about the Spirit and the Holy Spirit and all that kind of stuff and how everything works, The rest of that scripture says, when it says, write it down, make it plain, so the interpreter can actually receive it.
Yes.
So in a sense, so the atmosphere of the world can actually receive it and start working on that.
Yes.
So it's like, write it down, make it plain. So have a wonderful week.
And you too, Marty.
I enjoyed it.
And thank you guys for listening to our show. Once again, go to YouTube, like, share, hit that subscribe button, and share it with your friends and family members.
Yep.
And make it a great day.
Y'all be blessed. You're listening to Doni Jones Live with Doni Jones and Marty McFly.
Yeah.